because if you're hearing silence in your meetings, that is the biggest red flag you're possibly going to have. And then as a leader, the courage to be challenged by your team and sit there and really kind of hold space for like, I need to show up to be the best version of me for that team. Every time the team changes, the best version of you has to change as well. Yeah. And that's really tough as a leader to go, I need to adapt to the new ecosystem of my team. And how do you sit in that discomfort in a productive way without spiraling down into like self-doubt or imposter syndrome, all of those kind of things.
That's interesting. A bit on the imposter syndrome. Tell me more about that, because it's an interesting space, isn't it? When you get to a point where your team is performing so well that you feel like, okay, this is real. You're actually watching it and going, I can sit to the side and things are happening, which I think leaders can go two ways, right? It's either, oh my God, this is scary, or they can say that actually gives me so much more capacity to step up and actually pull the team further. So
yeah, and I call that the transition from being the player to the coach.
Yeah.
So when that actually starts to happen and you no longer have to be the player and you sit as being the coach, it's a huge shift. And for CEOs that I work with, I'm like, when that happens, you become the chief empowerment officer.
Yes.
Your job is no longer the chief executive officer, it's the chief empowerment officer.
Yeah.
So you've got to sit back, give them the space to play the game, but just as a coach on a footy field, when you're starting to see things, tweak things, but that gives you the space to then be in the future. Yes. Now you can work on the business, not in the business. You can start spending time looking at the trends, what's going to happen with the movement in the stock market, even if it's a different industry. So you're in pharmaceuticals, but if there's a movement in the fashion industry, how is that going to somehow ripple effect into the pharmaceutical industry as well? If there's a change in the technology industry when it comes to automotive technology, but is that going to somehow affect the pharmaceutical industry? So the more CEOs can get to that chief empowerment officer and spend that time looking outside of their industry and predicting the ripple effects from other industries, the quicker they can get ahead of the game. And they come back to their team, they're like, this is where I think is going to happen. What is our playbook if this happens? What is our playbook if, you know, with Trump and America, if Trump moves left on a certain issue, what's our playbook? If he moves right on a certain issue, because he moves very quickly, so you wake up overnight and something's happened.
Yes.
So you got to have your team ready to not only develop, but play the playbook as well. And so that's where I think it's really exciting for high-level leaders to be able to strategize, go, we've got this play, we've got that play, we've got this play. Do we all understand it? If we're going with this play, do we have the resources to execute it? How quickly can we get up and running to execute that? And then you have the budget talks of like, all right, I need a little slush fund, because if we do have to play that game, I need $2 million really quickly. So how can I have that $2 million sitting there? And if I don't have to use it, great. If I have to use it, I can get it quickly.
How do you get people to put that money aside? I have a way I used to do it.
I want to know your way.
I used to wait for budget. As soon as we got the budget approved, I would create what I call an innovation tax. So I'd take money out of everyone's budget, pull it back, and leave it in a fund. So during the year, we'd have opportunities for development, because it was often hard to almost articulate what you might do with those funds, because almost if you could articulate what you were going to do with it, and it was effective use of capital, then it was usually within your budget.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? By virtue, it's like, if it's better than what you've already got, why wouldn't you be doing it?
Yeah.
So it was always stuff that was new innovation that we could always target for stuff that we could do, which we may have not had sight of when we did the budget.
Yeah. And then you get your R&D tax cuts, and it's all a fantastic accounting strategy as well at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So now, talking to me and getting to know me a little bit better, what do you think you're looking forward to reading the book?
Reading in here, I think you've got obviously a very strong focus on culture and how it fundamentally drives a business. And so for me, it'll be interesting. I really am aligned with that thinking in terms of how important it is to get everyone in the same boat, feeling the same way, with the same commitment towards the organisation and the goals, And that's probably the most important criteria. So I'm interested to see kind of how you manifest that through your book and how you describe that.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts and opinions.
Okay, I'll have to read it now.
Yeah, exactly. Accountability. Leaders have to be accountable.